All right, everybody. It's that time, that place, that YouTube channel. It must be your daily Scrum with professional Scrum trainers Ryan Ripley and Todd Miller here to take the questions that you have about the Scrum framework and hopefully help you work a little bit better by the end of this video. How's it going, Todd?
It's going good. I don't know if I told you this. You know what I decided to do with my son? My wife's actually in on it too. Is we're watching all the Marvel movies in order.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're starting all over from the beginning and starting with watching the Marvel movies the way that they were meant to watch in order, starting with Captain America and the first Captain America.
Okay, so Captain America's first.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. So we just actually started it yesterday, which people watching this don't know what day it is. So who knows?
Today? Who knows
where I am at with you watching this by the time you're watching it.
So, is anything kind of revealed as you watch it in this order? Are you noticing different things?
I don't know, because I just started it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Perhaps we will have a follow-up episode on that.
I mean, in the next episode, what I really want is your hot take on WandaVision. I'm trying to decide whether or not to watch it.
Yeah.
Actually, leave us a comment below.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment. WandaVision, should we watch it? Yes or no? And depending on what you all say, maybe we'll watch it and give you a quick video update about it.
Yeah.
Right? But Todd, we have a Scrum topic we got to get into.
We've got a Scrum topic. Thank you. Again, we're getting, I'm trying to keep up and trying to add some comments to YouTube. But we do have a whip problem, right? So we're trying to stay on top of it, but it's just oftentimes easier to do a video than it is just a type of response. So
maybe we should do 2 videos a day. No.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. What's your take on definition of ready?
Yeah.
What do you think, Mr. Miller?
Maybe let's just describe for anybody that doesn't maybe know just very quickly. So there is a commitment now in Scrum after Scrum Guide 2020 to the increment called a definition of done, right?
Right.
We don't want to dive into that too much, but it's a commitment. It's part of the Scrum framework now. And so on the other side of that, there are teams in the past that have come up with this concept called the definition of ready, right? And what it oftentimes is it's a checklist of things that you need to have that shows that a PBI is ready to go into a sprint, right? So this is something that happens, as a checklist side thing to the product backlog to say we are ready to have this come into a sprint. It might have things on it like it's been estimated, it has acceptance criteria, it's written in user story format, kind of a checklist to say whether something's ready to come into the sprint or not. That's genuinely what people use the definition of ready for. How'd I do in that description?
I think that's awesome. I think that's a great description of definition of ready. And so I don't like being negative about this. I don't like definition of ready, Todd. When you think about it the way that you just described it, it seems kind of, why would these guys have a problem with it? It doesn't seem that bad. Mm-hmm. When it is in practice, like 9.9999 times out of 10, which is really close to 10 out of 10. But I don't want it to be an absolute, but the majority of the time when I see this practice in play, it turns into a contract between developers and the product owner, where the product owner could have this idea for the next sprint, and during sprint planning, the devs, look, you missed in the definition of ready step 6 out of 50. And so we're not even going to consider this because you're not ready. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Is it something that we could refine and figure? Nope. Definition of ready violated. Next item. And it creates this weird
gate.
Yeah, it's like this phase gate, I always think back, the idea of definition of ready makes me think about customer collaboration over contract negotiation, right? I go back to the Agile Manifesto and I think, wow, this is really creating a process and a tool that could really damage customer collaboration because we're not really honoring the individuals and interactions and the real spirit of this. And so I've seen it turn into a deterrent to collaboration. I've seen it turn into a contract between devs and the product owner. What have you seen?
All the same stuff. I'm not a fan either. And, if you think about the definition of done is there to create transparency, right? I don't see how the definition of ready creates transparency. It's more like saying that thou shalt have to meet these criteria for something to come into a sprint. And I just don't see that you being universally applicable.
Right.
For instance, I'm a product owner. The sprint review just ended, and I have a hot take that someone gives me an idea for in an office, or I have something pop into my head. I add it quickly to the product backlog, and that's what I want to spend my money on the next sprint. It's an experiment. It doesn't have acceptance criteria. It can't be estimated. It can't do this. It can't do that. I've ordered it that way, right? I've ordered the product backlog that way. And if it doesn't meet this definition of ready, I've seen teams put up walls and just be like, not doing it. Not doing it. Right?
This kind of smells like, the smell test used to be a big thing years ago. Like, oh, does it smell like it's a dysfunction? This smells like a best practice to me. Mm-hmm. This smells like some agile kind of practice, but it's a best practice masquerading as something interesting, right? And hot take here: best practices don't exist in our work. There's no such thing, and I think this is one of those kind of practices that could take you down a bad path. And so we're not a big fan of definition of ready in Scrum. Ready means that the product backlog item could potentially be completed within a sprint. That's all that ready means. Mm-hmm. And that has served us very well. And I think that's enough to help your teams be collaborative, to help the developers and the product owner figure out what's best to do in the next sprint without the restraints and the contracts and all of the anti-patterns and bad practices that definition of ready bring to a team.
Yeah, I will say that I have used it successfully in one very, very tiny regard.
Sure.
As teams learn, new teams that have just formed learn how to do product backlog refinement. This can be an early training wheels type of thing, like a definition. Let's not forget to do these things, right? But then it's quickly thrown out, and we learn to cope with our complexity and the emergence of the product backlog in different ways. That's the only way that I've seen it used in a reasonable way. If it becomes something that is long-standing, that's there over time, odds are that it's either being abused or ignored. So get rid of it.
Let's just call that a refinement policy then. We don't have to call it definition of ready. Maybe refinement policy is great.
Yeah.
All right. That is, I think, our hot take on definition of ready. Clearly, we're against it. But what are your thoughts? Right? Maybe we've stirred something up. Leave us a comment down in the comment section here. Let us know what we got right, what we got wrong, how you have used definition of ready. Perhaps you've got some insights that could help us use it better in the future. So that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our socials, all the Facebook, Twitter. I said the Facebook, Todd.
Facebook.
I must be over 40. That's a bad sign, buddy. It's not the Facebook. They took the out of it.
Yeah.
But all of our socials are there. Agile for Humans is typically how to find us. Hit that like and subscribe button.
It does look like my name is Todd, Agile for Humans. Oh, and I had one thing I wanted to add here to this end video, Ryan, to see how many people are listening. Just as TLC created a song, "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls," definition already sure sounds like that to me.
All right, I think we're going to leave it there.
Yeah.
Don't go. Oh, wait, we can't sing or else they demonetize the video.
Let's get out of here.
We got the like and subscribe up there. Be sure to hit those buttons so you know when we drop the next day's edition of Your Daily Scrum. Check out the videos below. We've got some extra content up there for you. And go forward and let's have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow.
See you.